Jesus is the way, and you know that's true. Never lose focus with a clear eye view. If you love them, lock in and then go and pursue. If you know you wanna go home, this your curfew. And if you understand life, then keep on living. Gotta always thank God, every day is Thanksgiving.
Good morning, y'all. So I have never made a video like this before in my life, but I felt it was important to start sharing. So last night I had a dream, and it was very interesting. It was about the coming tribulation or destruction of America, whatever you want to call it, and then also what I believe is the rapture. So I had a dream that I saw a bunch of missiles coming into America, and they look like Hellfire missiles, except much, much larger. And they were seeking things. They were looking for things they could destroy. It was almost like a cartoon missile, almost. Yeah, it was weird. Anyway, I remember all of us Christians were hiding. I was out in the woods. We were basically just looking on as everything was getting destroyed. But as soon as the missiles were coming in and just started exploding, all of a sudden, me and pretty much everybody that I know at my church were transported, raptured. I'm not sure how we got there. I just knew we were there. We all had robes on. Some had different sashes, but it was at a camp that was absolutely gorgeous. It was like one of the most scenic things you've ever seen. Yeah, it was perfect. Just perfect. It was just immaculate in every way. And when we were first there, the thing that was happening there I found very interesting. It was like the values had changed, and things on this earth that we describe as valuable just seemed irrelevant anymore. So when I first came there, we were trying to discover in each other the gifts that God had gave us, like the fruits of the gift or the gifts of the Spirit, whatever you want to call it. And I remember my one pastor who came up to me and just come running up to me with a bunch of the people from our church, and they were really excited because they had discovered in one of the younger guys, what his gifts were, and it was just really cool. So I saw the values change. It was different than it was on Earth, and it was the right things were getting emphasized. It was really cool. And then I remember I was in our new room with my wife and my kids, and I found it weird. There were 7 AC window units all lined up, and I don't sleep well without my AC on or the background noise of it. And I was trying to figure out how this thing works. My wife looks at me and goes, "Eric, you're not going to need that anymore." I was like, "Oh yeah, true, right." And then I woke up, and then I knew something valuable was trying to be emphasized from God there. So I immediately asked Holy Spirit, "Can you please interpret this for me?" And it came immediately. So the missiles coming in to destroy America was a result of America forcing Israel to divide the land. That was all I got about that there. The camp represented heaven. It was very clear on that one. And again, I think the point about the values got brought out earlier. And the interesting thing about my church is none of us particularly agree on end times scenarios. Some believe that everything was fulfilled back in 70 AD. Some believe that there's a post-tribulation or post-rapture tribulation, and I myself believe in pre-trib. I'm very convinced through the Spirit that that's what's happening. But the point was, it was not about if you had your eschatological views correct. It was about your relationship with God. That is the important key here. It's not necessary that you believe correctly to participate in the marriage with Christ's bride coming home for the wedding. And then the interpretation for me in the room has several meanings, which are profound for me because I can't wait for this day. So the 7 window AC window units represented John's 7 churches, meaning all the churches were there under one headship. And when I was trying to figure it out, and my wife telling me, you won't need it anymore, well, it had 2 symbologies to it. One is that Christ will be the leader. Man will not have to have their theology correct because they will be living with Christ. And the second is that all the insomnia I deal with, all the anxiety, the panic attacks, as far as the sleeping goes, I won't need it anymore because I will be whole. And I cannot wait for that day. So I hope this encourages a lot of people, even if it's just one. To God go the glory. Have a good day, guys.
Jesus is the greatest and it's meant to be. He died on the cross for our iniquities. He came in the flesh, yes, physically. Torture, pain on the cross, he died miserably. But when he come back, he gon' reign majestically. They say it's no proof of Jesus scientifically. They always lie on the king, I mean that's typically. But we don't go off science, this is biblically.